news,
Lobbyists are fed up with politicians accepting their money and then not coming through.
opinion,
When the automated police force orders you inside, that's just them doing their job.
remix.
Even lost my job partially due to the whole global warming issue. Increase in oil prices. This guy's scared.
This is Top Story with KLIX and Jill Skeen,
I've been a listener for about 20 years.
Talking to you makes me feel better.
where the news meets your opinion. Pick up the phone and talk about it. 736-0300. That's 736-0300. Now, here's the hosts of Top Story, KLIX and Jill Skeen.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo!
Yes, indeed. Good morning and welcome to Top Story, 736-0300. Always the number to call. And good morning, Jill.
Good morning, Kelly. How are you?
I am well, thank you very much. We're trying something a little different this morning.
Are we?
For the past few years, you've been able to go to our website at newsradio1310.com and click on the daily podcast and just get the audio. Well, now this is an experiment, and it may not turn out too well today, but we're trying it anyway. We are recording video.
And why is it just my face? Why not your face?
Well, because I set up the camera, and
I
that's
know.
my
Why does
prerogative.
it have to just look at me? It should be at both of us.
Well, I tried, but you know,
did ya?
if I got you in, I can't get me in, and vice versa.
I'm turning that thing around.
But we do have a good shot at whoever. There you go. That's not the one, though.
Where is it?
It's right up there.
Oh, for gosh sakes.
But it does have a good shot of the guest. So
more importantly.
So
we should warn our guests. By the way, you should dress a little bit nicer now.
Comb
You're
your
now
hair.
on TV.
That's right. Comb your hair.
Oh, my gosh.
Put a sign up there that says, "Smile, you're being recorded."
We probably do have to tell them now. Yeah, you're on video.
A little later today, this should be available. It'll be in the same place. At least this is the plan. It'll be available as a link in the same place that you normally find the podcasts. Only it will be a video cast, if you will.
I'm thrilled.
So there
I
you
don't
go.
remember signing a release for this or anything.
No, you didn't.
Exactly. How legal is this?
When you signed your contract, you just
I didn't
pretty
sign
much
a
turned your
contract.
life over to us.
I don't think so.
So anyway, I'm kind of excited about it. It's new technology.
Oh, really? Yeah, it's pointed more at me than you. No wonder you're excited.
You know, if I pointed at me, it'll break the camera. So what can I say?
All they
you
see
should
are
be
your
flattered.
crossed arms.
You should be flattered.
Now every day I have to worry about my hair, and you know every day it's like crazy. It doesn't matter. Anyway.
Well, hey, and anyway, that's the way it is.
I'm glad you even shared
Joe.
it with me today. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Coming up a little later, we'll talk to Stacy from Magic Valley Speedway. Carolyn White is coming in to talk about the Kids Art in the Park coming up.
That's right.
With the Magic Valley Arts Council.
Mm-hmm.
Twin Falls City Council person Rebecca Mills-Soika will be in at 9 o'clock for State of the City.
I wonder if I should text her and say, you're going to be on camera.
Yeah, it might not hurt. Maybe
not hurt.
She'll put a couple of extra curls in her hair then.
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know.
All right.
So the big news.
This was earth-shattering. I thought it was a joke when I read it.
The big news, House Majority Leader Eric Cantor, Republican from Virginia, has lost his seat in Congress in a shocking upset to David Bratt, a college professor backed by the Tea Party.
I was sitting in the Kimberly City Council, and I went to get my phone just to see what time it was or something. You know how you get an email, and you check an email, and I was like, wait, what? Is this a joke? Couldn't believe it.
No joke. With
wow.
All votes counted, Bratt has 56% of the vote to Cantor's 44%.
Yeah, he conceded already.
I guess the interesting part about this is that all the polls showed that that Cantor had a commanding lead and he was going to win.
Were those the same Republican polls that said Mitt Romney was going to win?
I don't know. Maybe so.
What is up with the Republican polling?
I don't know.
How could you be that off? He was up by 36%.
I don't know.
How can you be that off?
I don't know. I can't answer those questions.
But I think he was kind of cocky about it, although he spent I think 5-1 to this guy.
Yeah, he spent a lot of money. Cantor raised $5.4 million compared to Brat's $200,000.
Okay, it's way more than 5-1.
I don't know how much of that $5.4 million he spent, but that's how much Cantor raised, and Brat had $200,000. But with Cantor being the second most powerful Republican in the House, this is quite an upset.
Well, he was set to take over. Supposedly, John Boehner was going to step down as Speaker of the House, and they said that Eric Cantor was going to fill his shoes. They must be scrambling today to figure out what they're going to do.
They probably are.
I'm sorry. I think this was earth-shattering.
Well,
I was shocked.
There's no question. I mean, the Republicans will admit that this is earth-shattering.
And I think, you get so cocky. They said that Eric Cantor was at a fundraiser at a Starbucks in D.C. on election day.
Yeah.
Like, how cocky are you that you're not even in your own state? And it's not like it's that far away. Give me a break.
I don't know. So this will mean some changes.
And he only had one issue. The guy only had one issue, really, was against immigration.
Yeah, well, apparently that was the district that Cantor is from is apparently heavily Republican, and apparently that was an important issue for those people. Now, he will run in November against what's the guy's name? Troutman or something like that.
Well, the interesting
on the
thing
Democrat
about
side.
that
So it'll
is,
be interesting to see what happens there.
Well, the more interesting part of that whole story is both of these candidates are professors at the same college.
Yeah, I noticed that. I thought, wow, that is odd.
Yeah.
But
where is the name of the it's at Randolph-Macon, or they call it
Yeah.
it's Democrat Jack Trammell. He's also a professor at Randolph-Macon
I knew there was
College.
a T in there somewhere.
Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of interesting because I think both do not have political experience. I mean, as far as running elections, I think one's is he a political science professor? I'm not sure. Anyway.
Well, Mr. Bratt is a professor of economics, apparently. So it might be nice to have somebody in there with some experience in handling money.
But anyway, this was. I mean, I think Brad called it was just like a miracle that he won.
Well, yeah, and frankly, it probably was, But
wow.
I thought it was interesting because it wasn't long ago that all the pundits and everything were saying, "Wow, the Tea Party is pretty much a dead deal, and it's kind of a thing of the past." But it kind of was interesting now how, who was it, Mark Twain said that the rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated, and that came to mind talking about the Tea Party. So apparently the Tea Party is not totally dead yet.
Well, I don't know if it's so much the Tea Party or if it was just like, people get complacent. I mean, you should have seen Eric. I did see a sample of one of his ads. It was just like a generic whatever ad you could stick any candidate in. I mean, I don't think he really campaigned that much. I think they take it for granted. He'd been in how many terms?
This was going to be his 8th term, I believe. He was elected in 2000.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think you're at a Starbucks fundraiser on election day in D.C. when you should be in your state. I'm sorry, if I was running I would be in my state, wouldn't you?
Well, I would think so.
Sort of campaigning, maybe?
Yeah,
maybe
probably.
Campaigning? Instead of a fundraiser for what? Who knows?
Yeah. So anyway, it's going to be interesting now to see what happens. It's a heavily Republican district, so Bratt could very well win even over the Democrat.
Maybe. But Virginia, now has actually almost, I think, all of their top officials went Democratic this year. The governor and lieutenant governor.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I have to say, I bet you Mitch McConnell's shaking in his shoes. He had a tough primary fight, but he's got a tough opponent in November. So, I mean, I think it probably shook up a lot of these old timers.
I think it probably did, and it should. It most definitely should. I've seen a lot of remarks on Facebook this morning about, well, we got rid of the Rhino Cantor.
I don't know if he was a rhino, but he was
to them he was. I'm just saying.
I don't know what else you have to be. If he's not conservative enough, what do you have to do to be conservative?
Well, and that's just it. I saw another post on there saying that, well, now it's kind of scary when Eric Cantor is not conservative enough.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's like what more do you have? What's going to go on in Virginia? But more importantly,
You know, sometimes it's fun just to sit back and look at politics as a sport.
watch someone else's nightmare, someone else's state go down in flames. I don't know. This will be interesting.
It will be.
And to be such the number 2 most powerful Republican.
Yeah.
They must be dying.
I think every once in a while you need to send a message to Washington
I think it's a good one.
that it's the people who are in charge and not you. And whether it happens to Republicans or Democrats or independents or whatever, I think that is a powerful message that needs to be sent every once in a while. 7360300, top story, you're on the air.
I think you might be missing part of it. He might know something about financial matters, considering he teaches at college. Isn't he a professor of, what is it?
They said
I don't remember,
Yeah, he's a professor of economics at that.
Economics.
At that college. Right, exactly.
So hopefully he's not a classic, like nowadays professors of economics have no clue, because that's why we're in the mess we're in, because they have no clue what economics is all about. Economics 101 is competition matters. I mean,
I guess
they
we'll
don't
find
believe in
out.
competition nowadays, and the Tea Party is not dead, and everybody thinks it's all about all the wrong things. The Tea Party started because people in government are spending all of our money on things we don't agree with. And
That's
that
true.
started with George W. Bush. I know Jill wants to dog on, it's because of Obama, but it is not because of Obama. It started under George Bush because he was spending money on things he shouldn't have.
You didn't hear about the Tea Party till 2009, and it was not around during George Bush's term. Where was the Tea Party? It was
I think I can speak from experience
2009.
because I count myself as a Tea Party member, and it started during George Bush's term.
I don't think there was a name
Whenever
for it.
he was
You might have
bailing
been
out-
upset about it, but I don't think
No,
there was a
No,
movement.
you're right. It did. It did
He
start
said things
with George
about
W. Bush.
too big to fail. If someone is too big to fail, they're just plain too big.
It started with the first bailout.
Exactly.
Right after the first bailout.
There was no Tea Party then. There
Yes,
was
there
nothing.
was.
Call it
There
whatever
was
you want.
too,
It's not
because-
like it's a political party. It is a group of people that are sick of our money being spent on things that doesn't need to be spent on. Get
Well,
it through your head.
What now?
You know
What
what? I
what's
got it
your
through
what's
my
your
head.
assessment of this thing of this?
I think
cancer?
the Republican Party, if they don't wise up, they are dead. And I would be the first to vote against a Republican, and I am Republican. I am a registered Republican, but if they aren't going to stand behind what we believe as Republicans, most Republicans agree with the Tea Party. Whether you believe it or not, doesn't really matter. It's the truth.
well,
I
I
mean,
don't know. It
if I
seems like the
listen to-
establishment has moved more to the right.
No, when I listen to average Joe talking on the street that dogs on the Republican, on the Tea Party, and then they spit out the same things I believe, it's like, hello, wake up. You got to stop listening to the news and Jill Skeen. It's not the way you think it is. The Tea Party is you. The Tea
The
Party's me.
government's
We need to
us
stand
too.
up for what's right.
Yeah,
Anyway, I don't know. It depends on what you view as what's right, and it depends on your views of whatever. But the guy's main issue was against immigration, and I'm sorry, you have to deal with people in this country.
I've kind of seen the Tea Party as a more right-leaning group of Republicans, and I think in Idaho we have proven that because we have the right-leaning group, the Lawrence Denny's and such, who are really right-leaning, and then we have. Even the Republicans will admit that. Now we have the mainstream group now who are fighting for their life at the convention coming up this weekend.
But Russ Fulcher just lost. And he was more Tea Party, and he
right,
lost.
exactly.
So,
Well, that doesn't say that the Tea Party still has all the power yet.
we
It's
don't
just
know
saying.
what is the Tea Party. It's not its own group, so anyone can just throw that label on them.
7360300 is the number to call here this morning on Top Story, and we want to welcome Stacy Jensen from Magic Valley Speedway. Good morning, Stacy.
Good morning, Stacy.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
We're doing
Good.
swell.
By the way, you're being recorded. We need to tell you that.
All right.
Yeah,
We
you're being
started today,
videotaped.
yeah.
Our first one.
Oh, I'm the lucky. I'm always
There's
the
the camera,
test
so you
dummy.
can
There
wave.
you go.
Yeah.
I'm always the
Yay.
test dummy.
That's all right. We got to point it at Jill. So.
Yeah. Thank you. Exactly.
So we got races coming up again this weekend, and you're going to be involved?
Yes, we do. We have the late models, super stocks, Thunder Dogs. And then, of course, my division that I run in, which is the ISRL Super Sixes, Stingers, the Race of Champions, and the Big Wheels. It's a local lawn and tree spraying service night out there at Magic Valley Speedway. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's also a memorial race for Bob Gilligan. His son is actually going to be running in the Race of Champions, and it's going to be a really good weekend out there.
Who's Bob Gilligan?
Bob
those
Gilligan.
Of us who don't know.
Bob Gilligan was a very good family man to Renee Lopez here, which is part owner of local lawn and tree spraying service. He was the type of guy that he would give his shirt off his back to help you out there out at the races. He was just always smiling. You never saw a frown upon his face.
Oh,
Right.
well, that's nice.
Well, that's kind of cool when you salute the ones who kind of help get it to where it is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what division are you in again?
I'm in the ISRL Super Sixes. We are a sprint car class that travels from Boise to Twin, Pocatello, and Rocky Mountain Raceway down there in Utah. We'll be running the track right around. We'll turn the track in about 13.8, 13.9 seconds.
Okay.
Wow. How fast is that? What's the mileage when you do that?
Honestly, it depends. Anywhere from about 68 to 80 miles an hour, depending on the car you're in. The big wing sprint cars that come here every now and then, they turn it in 12 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my gosh.
So
That's kind of interesting because that track does not appear to be that big.
no,
And it's in a kind of a circle, so you know
Yep.
you really can't get on a straightaway, you might say, to get up to speed. So when you get up to 80 miles an hour on something like that, that's really saying something.
Do you ever get nervous?
nope.
How long have you been driving?
I've been racing out here locally since 2006. I started. I've been around it my whole life. My dad used to own a super modified and a sprint car out of here in Twin Falls, and I just never got out of it. I just always have pushed myself to do it.
Was your mom upset that you're following in your dad's footsteps?
No. Well, she hasn't told me yet, so
Yeah.
who knows?
She doesn't get nervous?
Does
she
she
come out to
know
your
what you
races?
do? Let's
Yeah.
put it that way.
Yeah, she does know what I do. There's been a
Okay.
few times that I've actually gone and done stuff that she doesn't know about in my racing, but that's for another story.
Hopefully she's not listening
Another
today.
time on Top Story.
I know
Yeah.
it. Oh, my gosh.
So you make a living at this then, huh?
I do my best here locally to make this a living. It definitely takes a lot of time and effort. It can be a very, very expensive deal if you're going to do it. All I can say for anybody out there, that's one to do it. If you want to do it, put your mind to it and study upon how to do this stuff because it's something you just don't learn overnight.
I'll bet. Yeah, and it's probably important to get sponsors. Is
Yes, sponsors are a very, very big deal into it. I've funded my car this year completely out of my own pocket, minus a few little sponsors that, but I've known them for years, so it's more of a give or take on their side.
Is there a lot of pressure to win so you can't get sponsors?
Depending on what you're asking for from the sponsor, yes, there can be a lot of pressure. We just got done doing the Idaho 222 out there, and of course, we all know that was $10,000 to win that race.
Wow.
Them guys are underneath a lot of pressure to do that stuff. On top of their crew has to be 100% when if something comes up, like a flat tire or
Right.
whatever, they got to be right on their game.
Wow.
That's exciting.
So to think that racing is just kind of one of those low pressure sports that you can have fun with, it can turn into
I don't think it's that at all.
It'll turn into a high pressure job in a heartbeat. Sounds
Yes,
like.
it can go from no pressure whatsoever to a lot of pressure.
Well, we want everybody to head out to the races of Magic Valley Speedway this weekend and see a race.
Yes.
What time does it start?
Gates open at 4 o'clock, qualifying at 6:30, and heat races start at 7 o'clock.
Sounds like fun. Stacy, thank you very much.
Best
No
of luck,
problem.
Stacy.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to tell you now, I know a lot of folks in this area might be thinking about upgrading their home or maybe moving to another area for a job or whatever. If you are thinking of selling your home, there's only one real estate company you should worry about contacting. The ones that I would contact if I were selling my home, that's the folks at Core Group Realty. With Gabe Cordova and the crew, they got this special program that they put in buyers and sellers in this huge database. So when you decide you want to sell your home, they go in there and they search for buyers looking for stuff that your home has and the price and such, and they can come up sometimes with a buyer on the same day. And if if you question that, I'll tell you what, if you want to sell your home, give them a chance at it. Give them a 24-hour listing or a 48-hour listing and just see what they can do for you. That's the folks at Core Group Realty, and they can help you out. And their number is 933-2673. Their website is getmorewithcore.com. If you want to sell your home, give them a 24-hour chance at it, okay? And you can tell them we told you to call. This is Top Story on News Radio 1310 KLIX. 7360300 is the number to call here this morning on Top Story. And with Father's Day coming up this Sunday, you should be running out to Bish's RV to check out on a gift for Dad. Now, whether this be an RV, but a little more realistically, kids are usually buying Dad an accessory for his RV. And that, of course, is where also Bish's RV really shines. They have a huge accessory department, and you can start, again, making memories with Dad. Parked along a nice little stream, throwing the line in the river and hooking a big one and building those memories once again.
All right.
So
I never had those memories, never will have those memories. Fine, rub it in. Go on.
Bish's RV is the place you want to go, and if you go there and you just can't see what Dad might like, then for heaven's sakes, get him a gift certificate from Bish's RV and let him spend it himself.
Yeah.
So they're at the corner of actually they're at the crossing, Curry Crossing, up from my old alma mater, which is now a museum. They're at the Curry Crossing on Highway 30 between Twin Falls and Filer, Bish's RV. We have Carolyn White with us this morning from Magic Valley Arts Council. Good morning, Carolyn.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's nice to see you, and you got some things coming up, it looks like.
Yes, thank you. The first thing I'd just like to mention is we do have an open house coming up called Jazzing Up This Summer on June 20th out at the Art Center, and the public is invited from 7 to 9, and the Full Moon Gallery will be showing new works, and we're featuring the work of guest artist Martin Wilk from Boise and Terry Halbert from Twin Falls.
Nice.
Sounds like fun.
Should be fun.
Yes, it'll be great. We're always having a good time out there, so.
And then we got, Kids Art in the Park coming up?
Kids Art in the Park.
Annual event?
Yes, this is an annual event. It will
How
be
many years, Carolyn?
Oh, my goodness. We are in our 24th year.
No.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
I know. It's amazing how many years that the Arts Council has been putting on this function, but it's just great, and the kids love it. It'll be on July the 12th, and it's for kids ages 3 to 14. Registration just started today.
Oh, good.
So parents can pick up the registration forms at the Twin Falls Public Library, Parks and Rec, Boys and Girls Club, or at the Arts Council.
Can they do it online?
Well, you can't actually register
No, but
online.
could
You
you
can
get the
pull off
form?
the form,
Okay.
correct. But they need to fill out the form and send it in. So early registration, the kids get a great chance to get the classes that they want.
And what classes are you having?
So, oh my gosh, this year we have some fabulous classes from pointillism, Monet poppies, to Picasso masks, to wire sculpture. I mean, it's just a lot of different variety of things offered for the kids. The classes are broken down into the 3 different age groups. And then we also have the Happy Hands for the really little kids that are 3 to 5-year-olds who have not been to kindergarten. So
what's Happy Hands?
Happy Hands is for the little kids. They're 3-year-old kids to 5-year-olds.
What is that? What do they do?
They're going to actually
I don't have kids.
do.
I don't know what Happy Hands is. Sorry. What is it?
They get to do an animal drawing or printmaking or make a Sculpey clay bowl.
Oh, okay.
Well, that sounds fun.
Kelly,
that might be along my line of work.
Exactly.
There, yeah.
Except you have to be accompanied by an adult. So.
Oh, well, maybe Jill will accompany me.
I'll be there anyway. Yeah, exactly. Well, how many classes can they take during that time?
They take 3 classes.
Okay.
So each class is 45 minutes. Classes start at 9 o'clock and we're done by 11:30, and then we have a hot dog lunch. And with every class registration, the kids will be given a $1 off discount coupon to the Rotary's Fun Day ice cream.
Oh,
Wow.
which
Event.
Jill just happens to know about.
Yes.
That's right. We'll be
This
there.
is amazing.
We start at 11:30
11:30,
to catch
which is
the little pumpkins to after their hot dog lunch to come in and have all the ice cream they can eat.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
it's a great collaboration.
It is. It is great.
So it's a lot of
So
fun.
they can get sick to their stomach and go home to mom and dad.
You know
Yes,
what?
and
That's
take
not-
their art projects with them.
There you go.
They'll have the best day of their life. Art, hot dogs, ice cream. What could be better?
Yeah, I tell you what, that's no kidding.
How much is the cost, Carolyn?
The cost is $2 for registration if they get their registration in before June 28th.
$2.
$2, and that includes all of their classes, all of their supplies.
And the lunch?
So, no, lunch is an additional $3, but they don't have to buy the lunch if they don't want to. So,
And what if it's after June 28th? How much?
then the registration goes up to $5. It's just to try to get the kids in early, get the registrations done, because then, that helps us to be able to then get the information back out to them.
Yeah.
And so the last, few days are kind of a panic
It's still
mode.
ridiculously
It's
a bargain
very
at any
affordable.
price.
Yeah,
$2.
cheap at twice the price.
What's
as they
it?
say.
You can't even get a cup
Very
of coffee
affordable.
for $2.
Not anymore.
That's
No,
right.
not
That's right.
anymore. This is awesome.
So we're about out of time, but that'll be July 12th at
July
the Twin Falls
12th at
City
the Twin
Park.
Falls City Park. So if they have any questions, to give us a call, 734-2787.
All right, very good.
This is a
Carolyn
great
White,
program,
thank you. Yeah, it
Carolyn.
really is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in and telling us about it.
You're welcome.
This is Top Story on News Radio 1310 KLIX. We have Rebecca Milsoika coming up at 9 o'clock with State of the City. It's like that.
Just like that. Jill and Kelly.
You ever wonder if technology is going to someday kill us?
Yes, I do.
I wonder that every day.
I'm sure you do.
And then when the
As you're reading your smartphone.
and way out, right, driving down the road,
Right.
reading my text.
Right,
Gee,
exactly.
will technology
Screaming
someday
at
kill
everyone.
us? Well, this is a little bit different approach here, but a consumer group wants the California Department of Motor Vehicles to slow Google's rush to get driverless cars on the road. Consumer Watchdog said the state's regulations don't allow enough time to test the self-driving cars before allowing them on California streets and highways. The state agency has regulations that take effect September 16th, governing the testing of driverless cars on California highways. The main rules are that the manufacturer must use specially trained test drivers who sit in the driver's seat and can take control of the vehicle, that any accidents or situation where the autonomous technology disengages during operation must be reported to the DMV, and that the manufacturer is required to maintain $5 million in insurance or surety bonds.
No. Have you? Do you remember seeing the movie Speed with Sandra Bullock? Who was on a bus who had absolutely no control or way to stop it? No.
Yeah, exactly.
No, this would be my idea of a nightmare.
The Google car, in case you haven't been following this, is a little car that, first of all, it looks stupid. But at any rate, but besides that, the Google car is a little car that you get in it. It has no steering wheel.
No, I couldn't.
It has no gas pedal, and it has no brake.
No. Mm-mm.
And you're supposed
That's
to
called
get
a
in
ride
this
at Six Flags.
and you're
No.
supposed to code in there where you want to go, and it's supposed to take you there.
No. No, that's not. No.
That's me. That would be the last thing that I do.
They say it's designed as a gumdrop shaped 2-seat self-driving car. And
it's a
would build and
pathetic
test
looking little
200
thing.
of them. I haven't seen it. Maybe I'll Google it real quick.
It's these.
I'll Google the Google card.
It's these kids, these designers who were kids when Pac-Man was around. Now they've designed this car and they've designed it to look like Pac-Man, and it looks stupid. But at any rate, but beyond that, Consumer Watchdog wants to put that off for 18 months. The DMV, let me back up here a little bit. The DMV said rules governing the public operation of self-driving cars are expected to be adopted by January 1st of next year, 2015. You could conceivably see people in driverless cars on California highways. Now, I'm not going to see them because I have no reason on the face of this earth to go to California, first of all. But that's another story.
Look how small
Secondly,
these are. I don't know if $5 million insurance liability policy is enough. You are going to be killed in 2 seconds. This thing is the size of a gumdrop. I wouldn't want to be in this at all. If I was hit by a truck.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in it if I was driving it.
No.
But to
You're not driving. That's
to,
horrible.
To give over total control to a computer is, if you look at it this way, if you look at the space shuttle program and all that kind of stuff that we had that had many computers on board, and of course, arguably, you could say, well, the more computers you have, that increases your chances of problems, especially if it's a Windows-based computer. But that's another subject also. But they're always having problems. And so what happens if you're going down the road and you're relying on this little car to get you safely from point A to point B, and something happens to the circuitry? I'm sorry, but I've been around electronic gadgets all of my life, and enough to realize that I don't care how well it's built, something can happen.
Well, what if you break down? How do you get off the road? You can't steer it. You'd have to push it. I guess maybe that's why they make it so small, because when it breaks down, you can just push it to the side of the road by yourself.
So then does that leave out handicapped people and such?
Oh, sure. So what do you guys think? Would you want to drive a driverless car with no steering wheel, no gas pedal, and no brake? Who's ready?
Now,
who's up for it?
I think we could arguably say that that I have seen vehicles being operated with a driver that acted like they had no steering wheel, no brakes, and no gas pedal.
I think I've ridden with that driver. I think it's called KLIX.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think this is the next greatest thing for...
Yeah, 7360300. Would you get in one today? Would you get in a driverless vehicle today and go somewhere?
Are we just control freaks? We can't give it up? Really, is it because I'm a control freak that I wouldn't want to do it?
Well, I don't know. I think it's self-preservation.
I know. I think
it seems stupid to get in a vehicle.
You can't control it all.
Yeah. What's the point? I mean, part of the fun of having a vehicle is driving it.
Yeah, that's true.
If you want to just get in something and go someplace and not have to drive, then call a cab or take mass transit or something.
Go to Six Flags and sit in a ride. I mean, that's what it looks like, one of those little bumper car things. I mean, you're in that, but they even have a steering wheel, but you can't control it well. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this the next wave of innovation of the auto industry?
It is scary.
Well, I mean, they have this.
And then you get into the government control thing, and everybody gets in their little Google cars, and then the government says, "Okay, we're gonna bring everybody to this place of re-education." So they take you there, and you can't get out of the car, and then you start hearing President Obama speak to you and such. I mean, the possibilities are endless. 7360300. Top story. You're on the air. Good morning.
Yeah, it sounds just like Congress to me. No steering wheel, no brakes, and no sense of direction. I don't think it's going to work at all.
Would you ever
Actually,
want to be in
it might work better than Congress if you stop and think about it.
I got to say one more thing about Jill. She's probably the strongest lady that I know.
Well, thank you.
She's been here 5 years listening to Truth and Common Sense and still sticks to her guns. So.
There's always a backhanded remark after a nice why? When will I learn not to suck it in? Come on.
We love you, Jill.
Well,
we love you.
Come on.
All right.
You always think
Thanks
I'm like, oh, that's so nice, and then it's a whack. Thank you.
That was funny.
After 5.5 years, I still get sucked in.
7360300. Top story. You're on the air. Would you go in a Google car today?
No, I wouldn't, but that's kind of a mix of words. You cannot drive a driverless car.
I know.
No, but you can sit in a driverless car.
I would not. I have a hard time being a passenger, period.
I do too.
Not alone sitting in a car that has nobody driving it whatsoever.
Yeah,
I can't even imagine.
You think maybe our kids might have a different attitude about that?
I guess, how would you like to have a driverless semi?
No. I know, because you drive them, right? Could you imagine sitting there with no steering wheel? No.
I'm driving one right now. Could you imagine one plowing into somebody?
No.
No.
You better keep those hands on the wheel, Kyle.
Who do you blame, Google?
Yeah, exactly. Well, don't worry. They've got a $5 million insurance
Or
claim.
surety bond. I don't think
surety
I don't
bond,
think that's
so-
enough.
No,
frankly,
I don't
think that's
so either.
enough.
Well, no. If something really went terribly wrong and it plowed into a bunch of cars, I mean, $5 million wouldn't even be a drop in the bucket.
Not to mention
compared
what's
to
going
what
to
it
happen
could
to you
be.
and your passenger, because this car is not very big.
Well, I think about that the one that ran into the comedian Tracy Morgan.
Oh yeah.
You know, and the guy fell asleep.
Yeah.
And, now
he was up 24 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, and by the time the dollar signs get finished rolling on that deal, boy.
Plus, there was a death. He lost his comedy writer.
Yep.
And how many other people were injured? By the
Yeah.
way, I think he's still in critical condition. I don't know if
I think so
he's
too.
been upgraded yet.
But
no, I can't. It would be like being in just a machine, a weapon, and you have no control.
see, I still
Like
go
a
back
rocket.
to that animated film Wall-E, where everything is done for
I didn't
us.
see Wall-E.
In the future, we might not even be able to drive our own vehicles. And again, why do you go out and buy a car? Because it's fun to drive.
Well, you wait
Get
till
a
you're
convertible,
16
put the
to get a
top down.
license. It's not because I can't wait to get my license so I can sit in a car and have it drive me.
Right, exactly.
It's exciting.
See, now I can go in a driverless car. Well, actually, you wouldn't have to have a driver's license, I guess, if you were in a driverless vehicle, because you wouldn't have any controls to operate
But how
it anyway.
fun is that? That's not fun.
I agree.
But
I
also,
agree.
how fast? I mean, how does it know when to start? You just hit a button. How does it know how fast to go? Just does it know the speed limit on every road?
It could very well, because I know the little GPSs that you get for your car, if you, the ones I've seen anyway, and they're fairly cheap ones, have a little thing on it. It'll tell you what the speed limit is.
But also, this GPS aren't that great. I mean, look what happened to that Canadian couple. They ended up, and you're in a car, you can't stop it. How do you know you're not going in a river because the GPS is wrong? Roads change.
Yeah.
There's so much about this that is wrong.
736-0300, top story. You're on the air. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. It reminds me of Jurassic Park when the guy says, "My God, we're in the hands of engineers."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. That's just it. I like gadgets, and I like to have the latest thing that comes out. I don't always have it, but I like gadgets. But this just scares me to death. And yeah, you're right. You start putting your lives in the hands of engineers, and
what do you do?
that could be worse than politicians.
What do? You sit there, like, say you're reading, you're not even watching what's happening to you? Like, the whole thing is so annoying. No, does it even have a trunk? I don't even know if it is a trunk. It's so small.
I don't know much
Just a
about the car. I
two-seat.
just saw a little picture of it, and I thought, boy, that really sucks. I mean, that's not
No, this
that's
is
not
very
something
small.
that you would go out and buy to have fun.
No.
That's more something like, it's just the vehicle itself would be totally, well, I hesitate to use the word practical, but it is just a seat on wheels that allows you to get from point A to point B.
I
mean,
assume
it would
it's
be
electric, right?
It would be like, I don't know if it's electric or
Because
not.
it certainly doesn't have room for a gas tank.
Oh, well, it could. I mean, it doesn't. Look at
Where
those
would
little
you-
smart cars that they have. It's about the size of one of those smart cars that
They're
you see
very
running
small,
around.
but you think, what the heck? And,
And
it's got
I'm sure
something
that
on the top.
I'm sure that is, well, yeah, that's
like
the
a ride at
antenna to
Disney
pick up
World.
the satellites.
Yeah,
and
it looks
stuff.
like Disney. A ride out of Disney.
But I
World.
don't know. Google scares me anyway.
Not to mention, how are the Google glasses going? Who would want one of those? Remember those?
Oh yeah, they're still there.
Yeah, I don't know. Are people even buying them?
I
don't
tell you,
know.
folks, the world is going to be controlled by Google soon if we're not careful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you get in your car and you say, okay, take me here. And Google might decide, nope, you're not going to go there.
Well, and there's a
You're
lot.
not going to go to that political rally. No,
Oh,
we're
stop.
going to take you to a
about-
re-education location.
You're not going to that restaurant. That one's not good for you. You go to the other one.
It could even fight obesity. Think of the
Yeah,
possibilities.
think about
No,
it.
you're not going to
Endless.
the restaurant today.
That's
You're
right.
going to the gym instead. So into golds you pull.
That's right. That would be hilarious. I didn't
don't
want to go to the gym. You're going to the gym.
Yeah, that's right, whether you want to or not.
Oh my gosh, the whole thing is crazy. How would you park? How do you park?
Well,
How
I
do you
don't
park?
know.
You have no steering wheel. They don't know every spot. How do you park?
I don't know, Jill.
The
I don't
questions
know.
are endless for me.
They are, and they're good questions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they have covered that.
What, they see a satellite? Okay, you could park, but you know what? When you have snowstorms, when you have hurricanes, you're driving in it, maybe the satellite isn't getting through. It doesn't on my TV a lot of times.
Yeah,
Then what?
And what happens
Then
if you're
what?
driving down the road? This is California. You're driving down the road, and all of a sudden you have an earthquake, and the road starts to move.
I'm sorry.
Can the
The
car
GPS
control
says
that?
this is the highway. You're
Yeah.
going off a cliff. No, there's so much about this that is so wrong. No,
That's
good
what-
luck
that's
to
what I-
the first test dummy.
I have said this for so long. Not all progress is progress.
I think a lot of it isn't.
And I realize they're maybe in the experimental stages, but they're getting to the point where they're turning it out to the public, and that's getting a little scary.
Yeah.
So you could be driving down the road, and there could be a driverless car coming toward you that all of a sudden experiences computer problems about the time it gets to almost in front of you.
Value, Mr. Robinson.
Oh,
Value, Mr. Robinson.
I'll tell you what, yeah. We got Rebecca Milsoika up next with State of the City here on Top Story.
That's the way I see it, I'm a simple man.